Let our authentication is working or not working. What we can do is like we can create JWT tokens and use it in our ASP.NET Web API application. Over here I am going to start by and I am going to pass my token in this. So this is my token which I kept. After that we are going to create a new Web API project. This is going to be like a new project, or rather than doing it as authentication, you need to make it as authorization, because you are authorizing something. So as you can see over here, we have got these values coming from our authorized API. So once the initialization of I would request you to please subscribe and like this video. We would be presented also with this. Please don't forget to hit the bell icon if you really like it. Create first. So thanks for watching this video. JWT token. So this will start scaffolding my project, and I will be able to see it in my Solution Explorer. I am selecting API and I have got this ASP.NET Core and ASP.NET Core 2.2 selected with me. So once for implementing this, what I will do is like I will create a altogether separate controller where I will be generating my JWT token. So I am saying add controller. This is going to be a API empty controller. I am saying that this should be a tokens controller, or let's just give it a name of token. So this can be sometime a bit tricky. So instead of doing this, let's add a MVC controller and we will modify it to be a WebApi controller. Let me build the solution first and try it again. So build has succeeded. Now let's try to create a controller. So now this controller is being generated for me. So once this API controller is created, I would just like to rename it to my tokens controller. So once this token controller is completed, I will be creating a method that is like HTTP post. Here I will say public iAction result. Create JWT token. This is my method name. Right over here, I would need to pass the request body So I would say request token, just say request. So I will be generating a class for this. So this class will consist of two properties, that is a username and one password. So once we have created our request token class, what we are going to do is, like, we are going to check if the user is valid or not. So for doing that, we would say use request.username equals to, I'm taking hard-coded values as of now, but ideally you would do it from some database. So if this is valid, then it should go inside, or else it should return me a bad request saying user credentials invalid. That this is a valid user, we are going to create our claim. So I am going to say where claims is equal to new claim. This is going to be an array. Over here I am going to pass a claim token, over where I am going to say claim options or claim types dot name should be equal to request dot username. So this is the claim that I have created for using. After this I will create a key. So key is going to be new symmetric security key. So this key is going to contain of a secret. So over here what I will do is, I will say encoding, let's include our namespace system.text .utf8 .get bytes. Now I will be using it from my configuration file, because it is always a good practice to keep it separate. So I am going to go over here and say in my app settings, secret this demo is for creating my first JWT token. Correct. So now what I can do is, I can use this secret and pass it in my controller. So for passing it in my controller, what I need to do is, like, I need to get dependency injection for configuration. So over here I will say private read only I configuration config. This is going to be available in my extensions.configuration. I am saying that configuration as well, like I will say pass this in my constructor. I configuration, this is going to be so now my configuration is available to use over here. So what I will say over here is configuration and I will pass in the secret. Correct. So once this key has been created, I will say my credential should be new signing credentials. The first value is going to be key and the second value is going to be the algorithm. So security algorithm dot, I am going to use this HMA SHA 256. So once creating this credentials, what I will do is I will just create my token. So where token is equal to new JWT security token. So you need to call that class. Over here we need to pass certain parameters like as issuer. So issuer, let's say that this is xyz.com. Audience is also xyz.com. After passing audience, we need to pass our claims. So claims is going to be claims expire should be date time dot now dot add minutes. So I am going to keep this token valid for 30 minutes. Also I am going to pass my signing credentials to be creds which I earlier created. So once I have created this, I can say return OK. This is going to be a new token which is going to be new JWT security token handler dot write token. So I am just passing my token. From my controller to the calling method. Let's format this all. So once after implementing all this, let's have a look like if we are able to get our security token or not. So I've just started the application. Meanwhile, let me open this Postman. We will be using Postman to send our post request. So once this is created, I will copy this, paste it over here, and the value should be tokens, right? So if I go, this is a post request, so if I go in body, I've got this username and password as admin which I created, in header content type as application JSON, and there's no authorization right now, so let's start it. So here you go, you can see that we have got this token with us. So this token can be used to authenticate our ASP.NET Core API. So now what I am going to do is I'm going to stop this application, go in my values controller, and I am going to just put one simple attribute over here, authorize. So this authorize attribute is a inbuilt authorization attribute from ASP.NET Core team. So we need to also register this in our middleware. So once we have done this, what we will do is we will go in our services dot add authentication, and over here what we will do is like we are going to pass some values for JWT token. So what I will say over here is JWT bearer schema. So I need to import this JWT bearer, or rather than trying to do it this way, let's do it using default. So I am saying that I will be using JWT bearer default from ASP.NET Core.authentication.jwt bearer dot authentication schema. Now what I can do is I can say add JWT bearer, and over here I will be passing one options, and inside my options I'm going to say options.token validation parameters is equal to new token validation parameters. Let me close this. So over here there are some values which we need to pass, that is like validate issuer, this should be true. TRUE validate audience, this should also be true. Validate live tune, this is also true. Now we need to pass who are the valid issuers and awaiter. So I am going to say xyz.com, which I used, valid audience xyz.com, right? So once I have done this valid issuer and valid audience, I need to provide this signature validator also, or else it won't be able to recognize it. Or let's say issue signing key. So signing key should be, as you can guess, new symmetric security key from our core security team. Over here I am going to say encoding. So this is coming from system.text dot UTF-8 dot get bytes, and the bytes are going to come from my config file. So this is going to be config secret. So there is one more important step to add it in our configure, or else it won't be working. So I am going to say over here app.use authentication. So once I have done this, my application should be up and running and validation should work. So let me first comment this out and run it to show you that it's working. So as soon as I hit this or start this application, I am going to see the values for the application because no authorization is there. Now let's move ahead and remove this authorize comments and use it with authorize attribute. So as you can see, it's giving me this page isn't working in the contact the HTTP error 401. It means that we are not authorized. Let's try this in our postman with bearer values. So I think I have closed my postman. if I so from our, let's run this again and get our token, right? So we have got this token with us, which we will be using as a bearer token for validation. So let me do one thing. I am going to paste it in notepad. After this, what I will do is, instead of API, I will say well that our authentication is working or not working. What we can do is, like, we can go in our headers, we can say authentication. Over here I am going to say bearer, and I am going to pass my token in this. So this is my token which I kept, right? So let me send this. Or rather than doing it as authentication, you need to make it as authorization, because you are authorizing something. So as you can see over here, we have got these values coming from our authorized API. So I would request you to please subscribe and like this video. Also please, like, don't forget to hit the bell icon if you really like it. So thanks for watching this video.